Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Glory Glory Man United podcast. I'm your host, as always, Kyle Quinn, and join me today to preview the Europa League final against Tottenham is Brushy. How's it going, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Each and every week, we get closer to the end of this dreadful, dreadful season. And about the only thing we do have to look forward to is the game this Wednesday.
Yeah, the Premier League season is a complete write-off. I think before Easter, I predicted that we wouldn't win another game in the Premier League, and it's definitely going that way. So it's the
I
players are
don't know
clear.
if any of us could have predicted exactly how bad it would have been, Carl. I think we've picked up something like 9 points this year.
Mm. Yeah, another stat that I heard, which is this is really going to alarm you. Um, Amorim has a list, no, a worst points per game ratio than Paul Jules Derby County when they finished with the worst points total in Premier League history.
Absolute madness. We were on like 30 points in December, and we're now in May, and we're on 39.
Yeah, we're if we don't get a point against Aston Villa in the final game, we will not even break the 40 point barrier, which is traditionally the barrier between being relegated and not being relegated. So we're quite fortunate that the three promoted teams have been that bad, and both United and Spurs have got away with it because apart from the promoted teams that have went down, Spurs are the only team below United in the table, and that is the team that we're playing in the Europa League final. Who would have believed it? But
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? It's absolutely insane.
yeah, and both teams clearly decided weeks ago to prioritise the Europa League, and they haven't really been picking up many points in the Premier League since. Uh, I noticed, to be honest, players are not trying as hard in Premier League games. That's quite obvious. I mean,
Hmm.
one moment that really stood out was when Ugarte lost the ball in midfield for one of West Ham's goals and didn't even he just said complaining to the referee rather than chasing back. That's not the Ugarte that we normally see, and he's normally a fierce competitor. He doesn't usually let his teammates mop up the danger. That's normally his job. So yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of where the team's heads are at in terms of the Premier League and the Europa League. The focus is firmly on the Europa, and we beat Bilbao 7-1 on aggregate. Who would have believed it? But on all the knockout rounds, we benefited from a red card for the opposition. Wouldn't mind that again in the final, to be honest, Brushy.
Same here, mate. I certainly won't be complaining if that were to happen. Because you look at this team as well, and honestly, I just don't know where the next goal is coming from. Um, and yeah,
But
league form is nothing to go on. They've clearly just turned up for the Europa, but that's not really a good indication of things to come either, is it? Like, surely, that's you're going to run out of steam there. Yeah, you need to be picking up points, and we've just been utterly, utterly atrocious.
yeah, to be honest, I've become completely disengaged with the Premier League games now. It's almost become something that's just of no interest to me whatsoever. I mean, I know every single Sunday United are going to lose, so I just stopped caring now, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling. Just going into every weekend, not just on our hope and a prayer, really. We do go into most games now thinking it's going to be a draw or a defeat, and it's disgusting.
Well, the Europa League has been the complete opposite. We're scoring goals for fun in the Europa League, even against what is regarded top quality opposition in the top five European leagues.
Yeah,
So
Bilbao are like fourth in La Liga.
yeah, United have put out the fourth best team in the Liga. Spurs have put out the third best team in the Bundesliga. United put out the team's third in France, I think. And
Yep.
yeah, and yet these teams are languishing just above the relegation zone in the Premier League. Right. So what I'm going to give you is the reasons why I think Tottenham might win and the reasons why I think Man United might win, and then you let me know what you think. And then a
Hmm.
little bit later on, we'll get on to our preferred starting 11s. based on who's available. And then we might touch on a wee bit of transfer news at the end. There's been some of that today. So the reasons why Spurs might win are these. United haven't beaten Tottenham since October 2022 when they won 2-0 at Old Trafford under Ten Hag. And United have lost three times to Tottenham this season.
Hmm.
They've done a double of us in the league and they won 4-3 in the League Cup in December. So those statistics are quite worrying. Also, Ange Postecoglou predicted that he always wins a trophy by his second season at every club he's been at. He's one game away now from fulfilling his own prophecy. Um, but on the other side of the coin, it's Spurs in a final. They haven't won a trophy since 2008, and they've lost a few finals since then. Um, United have Champions League winners in their team and in their squad. We have players who uh, have experience of winning finals, including the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Champions League. Um, Spurs have a few injuries to key players. James Maddison is out. Kulusevski is out. Bergval is out as well. Those are three starting midfielders. Son Heung-min is back for them though, and Solanke is fit and available. They're two match winners. But I have to say, United probably have more match winners available, like Bruno Fernandes, Amad Diallo, Harry Maguire is a match winner, which seems a strange thing to say. He had a goal ruled out for offside against Chelsea. And
Very unlucky. It was a lovely finish.
yeah, definitely.
I'll tell you what, Carl, when that goal went in, I was thinking, I hope Rasmus is paying attention.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides that we don't have a number nine.
Mhm.
I- Casemiro was arguably a match winner as well because he scored in both legs against Bilbao, and
Yeah, yeah. And then we've seen the best of him in recent weeks, especially in Europe.
he's one of those players that has bags of experience in European finals. This is
Yeah,
just
yeah. Like he won't be phased by this, not one single bit. I think he's got more Champions League individually than we have as a club.
yeah,
So, just putting that into perspective. So,
and
yeah, on
of course,
occasions like this, hopefully that experience comes in handy.
and a player who's been scoring goals lately, Mason Mount, has experience of winning the Champions League final as well. So
Hmm.
that could come into the manager's reckoning when deciding on his 11. He said now after the defeat to Chelsea that he now has a better idea of who he's going to play in the Europa League final. With Hoyland being so bad and and so many midfielders, competing for position starting berths, is there a possibility of going back to the old false nine as we did in the FA Cup final last year? What do you think,
Possibly,
Rush?
possibly. Yeah, I think there is a possibility of that. But I think also it's important to have people on the bench who can come on and make a difference. And our team isn't particularly blessed in that department. But Mason Mount is one of those guys who could come off the bench and actually add quality to the team. Whereas most of the other players nowadays, when we look at our bench, is just the kids. And, we don't really know which way it's going to go. You're just throwing them in at the deep end, really. But yeah, Rasmus, he's utterly devout of any confidence. I don't like seeing him out there. And I think the only reason he persists really is because there's really no other lack of alternative. I did pay attention to to what the coach has been saying about him. And yeah, it just seems like he's obviously protecting him because he doesn't want to pile on, right? But he's a player who I certainly wouldn't be surprised if he moves on this summer, either permanently or on loan. I just think it's clear to see that he needs a change of scenery.
Yeah, he needs to move back to Serie A where he's
Yeah.
valued and loved, whereas
Hmm.
and appreciated. Whereas as United, he's just drowning out there. He's not. I think he didn't win any duels against
Yeah. Like
Chelsea. He
it's
gave
been bad for a while, Carl, but now it's gotten to the stage where I don't think the kid is as bad as what we've been seeing, but I think he's completely devout of any kind of confidence. And
yeah,
yeah, even the basics have just gone out the window now.
yeah, he gave the ball away 13 times against Chelsea. as well
Yeah,
as.
yeah, he's not winning duels. He's not,
Mhm.
hold up plays non-existent. What's that? It's almost like
Yeah,
he's fighting with the ball. It's not nice to
and
see.
when he got a goal against Leicester, which wasn't a turning point, got a goal against
Hmm.
Bournemouth, that wasn't a turning point either. So he's not been able to, in previous in his career, he's had bursts of form. He's not been able to turn goals
Yeah,
into a
into
burst.
momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you could go on a little run, that would have been great. But yeah, that's not seemed to be the case this season, which is a real shame.
So
But
it's a
yeah,
big
overall, I just don't know what to say about the squad now, Carl. Because honestly, this manager, he's obviously very adamant about his system and his style and stuff. But are we seeing enough? Um, because in the league we clearly aren't.
no. I don't care whether we win or not on Sunday. I do. I want to win, but
Yeah, yeah. But
whether
I
we
think
win or
we
not.
both know, especially because Aston Villa are not only a better team, but
Mm,
they're fighting for a Champions League spot. So we already know they're going to be up for it. And as for our lads, our season's pretty much done after Wednesday, isn't it?
yeah. So I just want to make it clear to the listeners. I absolutely want to win on Wednesday, but whether we
Yep.
do or not, there needs to be a massive clear out in the summer, and the squad needs to be
Oh,
thinned.
absolutely. And I think this is why it's added impetus as well, because it's imperative we get over the line on Wednesday, because obviously Champions League qualification changes what we do potentially in the summer. So that's why it's of the utmost importance that we get over the line. But let's not get it twisted. Even if we do win on Wednesday, it doesn't paper over any of the cracks this season. It's been
No,
an atrocious season.
no. I mean, you could finish seventh or eighth and win the Europa League, and that
Yeah.
could paper over the cracks.
And it would still be disappointing
But
for us, for a
yeah,
club of our
yeah.
stature.
But when you
But this
finish
season, it's,
this low,
yeah,
nothing could make up for that. Nothing.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's just a disgusting run we've been on. It's horrible. Every time I look at the Premier League table, Carl, you just see a whole line of just L's. Truly, truly relegation form is
Is it,
what you see.
yeah, 15 defeats, I think. And
Yeah.
is it more? Maybe it's more than that now. I lose track, to be
Well,
honest
it's
with you.
15 under him, but
Yeah,
I think we've lost more overall. I think we might be on 18 losses in the league. Only
yeah,
Spurs have lost more than us outside of the relegation zone. I think they've lost 21.
yeah. Thankfully, we're playing the one team in the Premier League who has survived
Hmm.
that is worse than us. That's who we're playing in the final.
Yeah, yeah, and we're playing the one other man who's probably just as stubborn with his principles, and I'm hoping he plays that bloody highlight.
Yeah, although they seem to have been a wee bit more pragmatic in Europe, Tottenham.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, the way they set up against Bordeaux Glimpse in that second leg, they fully went there to shut up shop.
yeah, I could see this being very cagey, until somebody
Hmm.
scores and breaks a deadlock, and then that will open the game up a bit.
Yeah. I
But I,
don't think they have any individual tools that I'm particularly scared about.
mm,
My main concern is just making sure our lads don't make any silly mistakes. I think if
yeah,
we can avoid silly mistakes, I think the game's there for the taking.
yeah, one of the things, and when you mentioned silly mistakes there, I think of Lindelof playing so many
Yeah.
games lately, and he's
Mm.
got away with it so many
He
times.
he has even in the last game, Carl, now you mention it, when for the Reece James pirouette was out of this world, by the way. But that ball, the way it came in, I thought it was criminal. It was criminal to let Cucurella get his head on it. And Lindy just kind of jumps in the air just for the sake of jumping. Like there was no real
Yeah,
conviction. I don't
well,
even know if he knows where the ball's going. Like he's not picking up his man. It's insane.
that's when he didn't get away with it. But I remember
Yeah.
sorry, West Ham, uh,
Hmm.
late in the game, he he's trying to play the ball across to another defender, and it was such a
Yeah.
poor connection on the ball, and he gave the ball straight to a West Ham attacker who was straight in on goal, and I think the ball
Yeah.
was saved in the end. But
Hmm.
even the one which he accidentally cleared off the line in Bilbao, it was his initial clearance that went straight to a Bilbao player. And then the
Yeah.
second shot just hit him. He just happened to be in the right place at the right time. It hit him on the thigh.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's been giving the ball away a lot and getting away with it in games. But yeah, as you say, against Chelsea, against Cucurella, he didn't get away with it. And
No.
I do not want him to be starting in a European final because
Same.
I'm not a big fan of his anyway, but he's played a lot of games lately due to injuries, and he's been very
Yeah,
poor, very poor.
yeah. Well, I mean, first half of the season he didn't play at all, did he? So he was brought in out the cold. And I think it's a necessity kind of thing why he's getting as many games as he's getting.
So
And
p-
yeah, it's all coming to an end anyway, isn't it? His contract's up at the in June, and it's the right time for him to move on.
please, Lenny Yarrow, be fit and available for this final.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And also with Heaven as well, like, we've seen I don't want to say shortcomings, but the fact that he is still a raw talent, because I know people are hyping him up and stuff, but we've seen recently that he is still a very, very young man and he needs
mm.
time.
Yeah, he's only just back from injury. I don't see a scenario where he starts in the Europa
Hmm.
League final if there are other centre backs available. Uh, I my if Lenny Yarrow doesn't make it, I think he'll go with Maguire, Lindelof, and Shaw, which concerns me a
Yeah.
little. I have to be
Yeah,
honest.
going into anything with Luke Shaw concerns me. Harry Maguire is probably our most experienced and best centre back going into this final.
Mm.
And he's the one guy on the pitch who's a threat on at both ends.
Yeah, he is United's best centre forward and best defender,
Yep.
best
Yeah.
winger.
Yeah. The cross that he put in at
Mhm.
Bilbao, fantastic stuff.
But we cannot be having Lindelof at the back in the final because he
No,
could
we really can't.
he could make a mistake and you're 1-0 down and you're
Hmm.
chasing the game. Spurs have you right where they want you, and
Yeah.
yeah, we can't afford that. Lenny Yarrow's been sensational
Yeah.
lately. We need him. We need him available.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mature beyond his years, that one, but you can tell he's a special talent. Um, And like you were saying as well, our record against Tottenham has been horrible this season. And I'm kind of hoping that the law of averages means that, we're due a win. But obviously it's down to those players at the end of the day. And we've got to give a good showing and a good account of ourselves. Um, Bruno Fernandes is probably our most potent threat. The captain, the one that really needs to take that game on Wednesday by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, and of course we've got Amad Diallo back, who's been really
Hmm.
good since he came back, and
And
whether
he's
he,
magical, isn't he? Like even when he comes on as a sub, you see the difference he makes. He even managed to, give Rasmus a goal.
yeah, I think he's going to start in the final because he's such a pivotal player to United.
Hmm.
I've seen quotes from him today, Diallo, saying that he wants to become one of the world's best players, and yeah, I'm liking the confidence from him. You can see the confidence he has when you see him on the pitch. Total opposite to Rasmus in many ways. He can just
Definitely, and
he
he just
beats
doesn't
players for
stop
fun.
trying. He always tries, and he tries to take his man on. He tries to make stuff happen, and it's nice to see.
He's just so he can receive the ball with his back to goal with the man right
Hmm.
behind him, and he'll just do a turn and take the man out of the game, and then he's running at another defender, and then he beat him, and then he's an opportunity to pick somebody out. Yeah, he can just make something happen in a flash by being so direct,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, he's got that bit of skill, bit of guile that the go past players. We don't have too many of those in the
Definitely,
squad. Garnacho might be the other one, but I don't think he's quite
yeah.
as good at beating players as Diallo. He's just got that
The
brilliant.
only other annoying, the only other annoying thing, Kyle, is I've seen some stats this week where they're calling it the year of the underdog. The weekend Palace beat Man City in the final. Abroad, we've seen Bologna overcome AC Milan in the Coppa Italia. Go ahead Eagles won their first trophy in donkey's years in Holland. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stats about the underdog winning. And I was thinking to myself, on paper, are we the underdog?
Uh, well, given the head-to-head record, we should be,
We
uh,
should be.
but I think we've more match winners available to us than they do because of the players they're
Mm,
missing, and
hmm.
because we have better pedigree.
Kulusevski out is massive for us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's our best player in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He is
yeah.
like their Diallo, isn't he? That's essentially.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, and defensively, I do think they can be got at as well. but
Yeah,
then so can
but
we. So,
but I do think,
it could be an end.
yeah, I do think that their goalkeeper is much better than ours though as well, which is a concern.
Yeah, but I think most goalkeepers are better than
Yeah,
us.
and we just seen a goalkeeper at the weekend, Dean Henderson, play a blinder
Putting a
in the
man
cup
of the match
final.
performance.
A
Yeah,
man
yeah,
that
yeah,
that we had and give away for 20
yeah,
million.
yeah.
Um, you know,
It's one of those. I saw a lot of stuff on the timeline as well after the final car, and I didn't really like the rewriting of history. Like at the time where we got rid of him, like unanimously, I think most people thought it was the right decision, and I stand
mm,
by it. It's just that we've replaced very, very poorly,
yeah, you know,
which now makes the decision look silly.
only 3 or 4 years ago we had two number ones,
Yeah,
two an exceptional goalkeeper who was the best keeper in the world for a period of 4 years, and
yep,
then Dean Henderson, an up and coming England international who had the ability to be a number one,
mm,
vying for De Gea's position. We got rid of both of those players and brought in two absolute clowns and
basically,
Andrew Onana and Bayendier. You know, horrible, horrible pieces of business. And
yeah,
now went from two number ones to no number ones, in my opinion. That can be relied
basically,
upon. It's
yeah, yeah,
And people
and
wonder
that's the
why we're
thing.
16th.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and it's so important as well to like do your due diligence, be a savvy shopper in the market, because Andre Onana, Inter Milan replaced him with the experienced Jan Sommer for about £6 million, and he
Yeah.
was the man of the match in their
Ah,
semi-final against Barcelona.
he's brilliant. Absolutely
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah, yeah. I know it's kind of crazy to say that the keeper was man of the match in a game in which
I know, I
you
know.
conceded
Yeah.
3 goals,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it was a super performance, and oh, what a game that was as well. That's what European nights are all about. Made me very jealous and envious that that used to be us back in the day.
I know. But by winning this game against Tottenham, we will be back amongst the big boys next season. Um,
Absolutely, like it would be totally undeserved, but I wouldn't care less.
mm, definitely. It's funny how it's undeserved for Man United if they win the
Yeah.
Europa League, but it's not undeserved for
Hmm.
Crystal Palace to get in by winning the FA Cup.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't see any hoo-ha about that, about
Mm,
them qualifying for Europe now through the FA Cup. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? One rule for us and then one rule for everybody else. Yeah. I
another,
saw Wenger's comments. I mean, he was asked
ah,
the question, but still, it irritated me because this is not. It's not like we've made up the rules. The rules have been there, and it's been in position for years.
I know Arsenal have benefited from this rule in the
Yeah,
past. You know, uh, didn't didn't they did didn't they get into Europe via cup competition before? I'm pretty sure they have. So I'm just not accepting this at all.
yeah. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all.
Um, yeah, I just don't care about it. See that channel in
Hmm.
particular, BN Sports, Richard Keys, Nanny Graham, Banger, and
Hmm.
Jason McAteer and all these guys. It's just the anti United show, and I don't even pay attention to them anymore. They're just looking for it's just clickbait. That's all it is.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's what a lot of these things are now, isn't it? It's the talk sport model.
Yeah, yeah, which I have no respect for whatsoever. Yeah, Gabby Agbonahor, all he
Yeah,
ever does is you know fire shots at Man United and to get attention,
yeah, yeah,
get views.
yeah. And Jamie O'Hara, he's
Yeah.
just talking
Oh,
nonsense.
I loved, just to win the Europa League, just to shut him up because he's a big Spurs man,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. He's a Spurs man as well, isn't he? So yeah, that'll be great.
would never hear the end of it from
Uh,
him if Spurs won.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, like, because they don't win trophies, do they? So yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
they're all going to be
but
up for it. And yeah, like you say, prophecy and all of that as well. The
but
man did say that he always wins a trophy in his second season. So hey ho, we'll have to wait and see how this one goes. Funny enough, I was doing a little bit of research, and Spurs were the inaugural winners of the UEFA Cup.
yes, was
They've
that
got
in the
history in the competition. They've got two of them.
did they beat Wolves in an all English final in 1971 or something like that? I was just
I
kind of
think
reading
so.
that
I think that
earlier.
was the first final. I think
Yeah,
it was the first final. Yeah, 71, 72 is when they won their first.
yeah, they're long overdue for a trophy, but
Yeah.
please don't let it be Wednesday night. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the one time
And
I
I know
want,
a lot of Arsenal fans as well, and they're crying about Wednesday because either way, they are in the mud.
I would say the majority though would prefer a Man United win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, obviously, but you know, rocking a hard place for them.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I'm a bit concerned about the fact that Spurs also have their first choice centre backs available as well, with
Yeah,
Christian,
Mickey Van der Ven and Romero.
you know, yeah. Whereas we're touch
Yeah,
and go about who we're going to have available at the back, and
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that is a concern for me as well. I was kind of hoping that it would be like Danzo and Ben Davies makeshift, or Archie Gray's been playing at the back as well this season.
do you remember the league game where Van der Ven just tore through the middle of United's
Oh
midfield?
my days! Yeah, the one where Ugarte should have taken him out but didn't, and he made that crazy run. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, that game gave me nightmares because if Timo Werner was half decent, it would have been a lot worse than 3-0 that night.
Yeah, I prefer him to be playing than Son Heung-min.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, Son will always be a danger, but I don't
hmm
think he's quite the player he was anymore. Maybe,
No, no, I mean he's like 33 going on 34 now, isn't he? So yeah, he's
yeah.
he's gone down a bit. But experience might see him through. But yeah, that's what I mean. Individually, I'm not that worried.
And is he?
Solanke can cause problems.
Yeah, definitely. He's a goal scorer, which we don't
Mm,
have
hmm
in that
Yeah,
position. Uh,
yeah.
he's a real poacher, Solanke. We have to be
hmm
keeping an eye on him, and Lindelof's certainly not going to do that. So we need
Yeah. And
Laniero to
also
be
the
available.
worry as well with the guy we've got in goal, mate. Every time
Oh,
a shot just needs to be on target. Like if
oh,
I was the opposition, I'd be telling them, "Listen, lads, keep calm. Just make sure you get the shot on target. If you get the shot on target, there's always a chance against the no."
can we play
Uh,
Tom? Can we play Tom Heaton?
Listen, I tell you what, with how much we pay him, he bloody well should be available.
Yeah,
Did you know he's on 45 grand a week?
I'm going to give him another deal as well, apparently. So
It's insane. It's insane. I hope they slash his wages.
yeah, but yeah,
So
we need to get some change out of that wage.
yeah,
So let's play
yeah.
him.
Listen, he's played what like three. He's made three appearances in 4 seasons. Um,
I know.
and yeah, 45 grand a week for the third choice. I mean, Bayern is on 25, but
So
he's on 45.
more seasons than appearances.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
And also paid more than the second goalkeeper, and
Wow.
he's the third.
We need to be getting rid of both the first and choice second
Yeah, yeah,
keepers.
yeah. Honestly, yeah, yeah. Because you remember what even with Bayern did the match against Arsenal in the FA Cup, right? The heroics of that. I told you that day, had they had a decent striker up front and not Kai Havertz, he wouldn't have kept a clean sheet.
That was an anomaly. Uh,
Yeah,
in most games, to be fair, that we've seen Bandier, he's got a
yeah.
mistake. He's got a mistake in him, and
You've seen what he's actually capable of in the games that he's played since, and
yeah.
he's firmly a second choice. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, gone are the days of Sergio Romero, who of course started our
hmm
last victory in a Europa League final. And wouldn't
And
mind it.
yeah, how lucky we were. Listen, there's so many players I can go back in history and think, oh, if we had him now, like even at one time we had Victor Valdez on the bench. He'd be a starting goalkeeper for us right now.
Yeah,
All the tens we've wasted over the years, from Shinji Kagawa to Juan Mata to Mkhitaryan, they would all be a shoe in this team.
mm.
Ah,
Yeah. Uh, under Ten Hag, they spent something like 700 million just to make the team worse.
mhm.
You
Yeah, yeah.
know.
We play with wing backs now as well. Bloody Antonio Valencia would have been amazing. Even
Mhm.
Alexander Butner might get a shout.
Hey, now you're getting a bit carried away, and I. Uh,
I'll tell you what, because he had no defensive mode in his body. So, as a wing back,
so how do you see it going? Are you confident about this? Do you think that we'll get the
I'm not
job done?
confident about it. I'm not confident about any game style. But I'll tell you what, no, I have got a bit of chest for Europe. Listen, we're undefeated, and you need that siege mentality going into this. So, I'm trying not to be negative. I'm going into it with the utmost confidence that we can do something. And if we turn up, we should,
But
you know?
the good news is that fans are not confident about this at all.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, like you already mentioned, the one good thing is this team are used to winning. We're a trophy winning team. And the last 2 seasons consecutively, we've been winning trophies. We've been getting to finals over the last couple of years. So that experience has to mean something.
So if uh, we decide to play with a false nine, which is a possibility now, given how bad Hoyland has been, it's a big risk to play him in a major final of this importance when he's not producing anything. So this is the team that I would go with. Let me know what you think. So Tom Heaton in goal. No, it's not going to happen, obviously. So it's probably going
It's
to
going to be
be
an honor in it.
it's
Yeah.
going to be Onana.
Yeah.
Hopefully Maguire, Lenny Yarrow, and Luke Shaw. Um,
Hmm.
it's going to be Mazrahi and Dorgu as the wing backs. Not great
Hmm.
options in those areas, but that's probably
Hmm.
what it's going to be. Um, Casemiro and Ugarte probably in midfield, and
Hmm.
then Bruno and Ahmad as the tens, and maybe Mason Mount as the false nine. That's probably what I
Hmm.
would go with. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah. The only thing that concerns me about the team is probably Luke Shaw at the back. Um, I would, if I could help it, he wouldn't be there. But then again, what you'd have to do then is probably put Lenny Euro there and then move Mazraoui to the right centre back position. But then that also means you lose Diallo up forward and he drops to the right wing back position. And then
Yeah,
you've got, Bruno, uh, probably with Garnacho there then. And
mm.
he's a bit
I,
hit and miss. His
is
decision
it?
making isn't great. But then sometimes
No.
out of nowhere, when he does his one of his finishes, you're like, wow, okay.
I tell you what, I think we've said this for a couple of years now that
Mm.
Garnacho tends to have a big impact from the
Off
bench.
the bench. Yeah, yeah.
So this would be perfect
Hmm.
if the final's still in the balance, or if we're losing by a goal, we're winning by a goal, or whatever. It's a
Yeah.
draw. We're drawing. If you can bring Garnacho on with 20 minutes to go, that's because
Yeah,
he's
with
going to
that
be,
pace and all of
yeah.
that, because he's very direct as well. Selfish. We know he's not gonna like, square the ball, but yeah. But some of his finishes, when it actually works out, you think, wow, you know.
And of course, we'll have Manu from the bench as well if he doesn't start him.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, so we've
And
got,
I'll tell you what, that brace for Mason Mount, that would have done wonders for his confidence. That was long overdue, and finally, like that was a that cameo performance. It was a performance worthy of the number on his on the back of
mm,
his shirt.
yeah, I'd love him to do it again in the final. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the second goal, I mean, obviously, like you still got a lot to do, so you got to, the control and everything, and you still got to get it on target. The first one, oh, fantastic technique. The little turn, the finish. That's the Mason Mount. That's the best of Mason Mount. That's the one that we saw
Yeah,
at Chelsea.
it was like a Makeda finish, and
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
it it
yeah.
came
And that
from
was
a
the best of him at Chelsea as well when he was actually on it,
it
which
came from a
he hasn't been that player for a few years, but hopefully he can kick on.
it came from a marauding run from Lenny Yarrow as
Hmm.
well, which I liked. Yeah, but the second goal was
Yeah,
just phenomenal. Anyone
yeah, yeah.
who can score from that range, he's
Yeah,
certainly
yeah,
got a
yeah,
bit of
yeah. To hit it from there, there's still a lot to do. I know the keeper was a long way out and that, but there's still a lot to do.
with
So,
his left foot
you
as
know,
well.
yeah, yeah, it was brilliant. And I was so
And
happy for him because he has been through a lot. It must be so
yeah,
difficult psychologically as well for these guys that are just always injured and they're out. And he'll know the criticisms that have been coming his way. Big price tag, and we've not really seen anything from him.
tell you
So
what, he's
yeah,
been fit since the start of March.
yeah, yeah.
That's his longest run yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate for him personally, for him that the season's coming to an end. But yeah, I'm hoping he can just in the summer have a good preseason, and then yeah, we'll see how we stand. We'll see how he fares next season.
Yeah, hopefully a big season from him next term in the
Hmm.
Champions League.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fingers
If we get
crossed.
there.
Yeah.
So we're
There are
quietly.
one or two concerns for me as well, though, Carl. Dorgu, I think the
Oh,
jury's out on
do you
him.
know? Yeah, do you know what? I'm not a fan. I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not liking him so
Listen,
far.
I know he's very young, and I do like to be patient and give him time because he is very young. But what I'm seeing, like, I mean, to be honest, even when we signed him, I thought, you know what, this kid's going to be a rotational option, and I think he's going to be a rotation option at best. And I'm a little bit annoyed as well over this past week when I'm seeing transfer news. I'm sure you would have seen it as well. Romano reporting what Liverpool are doing, and it makes me kind
I
of sick
know, I
because
know, I know.
they've got Frimpong in the bag and they're working on Kirkez. And if I'm really looking at it, those are the two that really we should have been targeting for what we're trying to build and for this
Yeah,
formation
mm,
and what we're doing.
I know it's early and we have to give him a full season and all that,
Yeah,
but I don't foresee a situation where Dorgu is a
yeah,
sensational left wing back for Man United. I don't see
yeah,
that
yeah.
happening.
I mean, to be honest, that this is the other thing. He's never even played left wing back really before he came to us.
I think
Um,
I think there's a bigger chance of Harry Hamas, becoming the starter in that position in the future than
and
Dorgu, to
then
be honest.
also to add further insult to injury, so not only is Kirkez looking like he's Anfield bound,
Yeah,
Alvaro Fernandez or Carreras as he goes by now,
in
he's off
Madrid.
to Real Madrid. It looks like, and then we had a buyback clause on him as well.
But
So the
yeah,
pressure's really going to mount because with all these transfers happening, if Dorgu doesn't step it up, unfortunately for the lad, he's going to come in for a lot of criticism, even though he's
yeah,
only 20.
he's going to come in for a lot of competition as well from Diego
Yeah.
Leon and Harry Amas
Hmm.
in that position, in the coming
Hmm.
seasons. I don't
Yep.
think I don't think he'll be any more than a squad player for United in the
Yeah.
future.
And for
He
me, if you're going to continue with this system, then you need specialist wingbacks. And for me,
Yeah,
there was a far, far more experienced ones out there. And when I say experienced, I don't just mean age, because you can be young and experienced. You can have 100 appearances under your belt now, like Lamine Yamal, and that kid's 17. So there's experienced options out there, and it was very strange. I'll tell you what, we're doing all this negotiation with Cunha at Wolves. I'd love to see what their stance is on Out Nuri.
yeah, absolutely. Uh, it- just today, Fabrizio Romano has been saying that here we go soon for Kuna to Old
Hmm.
Trafford, and Sky
Yeah,
Sports News have also said that it's going to be concluded at the end of the Premier League season. But we've seen this one
yep,
coming for weeks now, and he's going to be a number 10 in Amorim's system
yeah.
going forward. So, what's your
And
thoughts on it?
unfortunately for him, he's going to come with a very high price tag, and the expectation's going to be heaped on him, and he's got to really hit the ground running. Because I know we
But
spoke about it briefly before, and this was one of those signings that I was a little bit underwhelmed by, partly due to the price tag more than anything. And he scores in bunches and stuff. But I mean, any goal is an improvement on what we've got. So it's one of those ones. But I'm looking over at Anfield, and I'm just pissed off, to be honest.
don't, please don't talk about them. I can't stand them. Yeah, it's bad
I
enough that
just,
they won the league.
I'll tell you what, it'll be very dependent on the Kirkes price as well. If the Kirkes price is half decent, it'll hurt me to no end. Because that Frimpong one, I'm looking at that because initially I thought it was 40
Yeah,
million euros, and then Romano's commented this week that it was 35 million euros, which works out to be just under 30 million pounds. And I'm thinking, well, that's what we paid for bloody Dorgu.
yeah. Frimpong is someone who we've talked about a lot on this show, but just
Yeah,
be
yeah, who can cover the
yeah,
entire right hand side.
and
He's attacking.
we need someone in that position. Absolutely,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. He bombs forward. He's got pace for days. He can play right wing back. He can play right 10. I've seen one or two occasions this season where Xabi Alonso switched it up to a 4-2-3-1, and he plays as the right winger. So yeah, it's an insanely good piece of business that for the
But
price and in this day and
just
age in the market.
just because Liverpool are signing the obvious targets doesn't mean that we're
Yeah.
not going to sign somebody good. So don't be worrying about that.
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Obviously, it's still early days. I think it's just a bit irritating, though, isn't it, when you see these people
So
making moves early on and you're like, oh,
you were saying a number of weeks ago that you weren't that excited about Mateus Cunha, but maybe I should
yeah,
send you the goals compilation that he has produced this season in the Premier League. The goals are just
yeah, yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah. The goals, yeah.
And
And then sometimes, though, sometimes you have to look at the opposition as well, because I know you had a good game against like Leicester City, but come on, it's flipping Leicester.
oh well,
Um,
he's scored against United,
yeah,
sure, from a corner. Oh wait, that's not a big deal.
yeah. No, listen,
You know,
he's definitely an upgrade on what we have, but that's not neither here nor there. It's one of those ones.
yeah, I
I
think
would have been a lot more comfortable had it been about sort of 40 to 45. I
yeah,
think
but that's the
that's
release
the top
clause.
end of what he's worth.
That's the
Yeah,
release
yeah.
clause for him.
It's the top end of what he's worth.